My favourite player is John Higton, or Sir John Higton, as he should be. He's a guy I grew up with, a guy who just epitomises Middlesbrough for me.
John Higton.
I think John Higton, for me, from 1968 when I first saw him play against Preston North End.
King John Higton, as he used to be referred to when the Sports Gazette headlines came out, recording his goal-scoring exploit at Ayresome Park. A bargain buy, £20,000 from Sheffield Wednesday. He came as a full-back, went on to be Middlesbrough's leading scorer season after season.
I remember him all the way through my childhood as just being this player that gave 100% and scored an awful lot of goals.
My favourite Boro player is Tony Mowbray. He's a man who personifies Middlesbrough and Teesside.
Really, the best player I played with, the player I liked playing with, was Tony Mowbray, who was an inspirational captain and just somebody you looked forward to working with and playing with every week.
Grit, hard-working, nothing flash, very efficient, real spirit, and so proud to be part of the team.
I've played with a lot of quality players, but for me, probably Nigel Pearson, just because he was a leader. Played through anything, seen him get his knees drained before games and go out when we really needed him and that.
Valued the troops well. I thought he was a good captain, he was a natural born leader, he's an excellent manager as well.
I think that every team needs a leader, and for me, Nigel's the one.
The fellow I'd like to pick from years gone past would be David Hodgson, because not only was he a fantastic striker, as I say, he was a smashing bloke to me as a young player.
The player I've plumped for is Stuart Downing. Maybe that might surprise some people because he's a young lad and he's a member of the current squad, but he's somebody I've seen come through from the junior ranks and is somebody I've just enjoyed watching year after year.
I've got to say Stuart Downing has to be right up there.
He's a local lad as well, and I think that's probably just tipped the balance in his favour. He's a Boro lad through and through, and he's been a real credit to the town and the club.
I've got to plump for John Hendry because he was just a terrific player who put in effort every week, fantastic stuff. Big fan of wingers. John Hendry is my all-time favourite player because he used to score some fantastic goals as well.
Favourite Boro player of all time is Wilf Mannion. I never actually saw him play because he'd retired long before I was born, unfortunately, but I remember my nana telling me when I was young about how he'd run the length of the field with a ball on his head, and it just seemed so magical. It just seemed like he had superhuman powers.
I think when I'm looking for a number one, I don't go any further than Steve Pears. Not only was he a great club man, he was a fantastic goalkeeper.
My favourite Boro player, absolutely, undoubtedly, is Juninho,
who I thought was individually outstanding. He had a spell where he was unplayable. Things he was doing with the ball was absolutely phenomenal to watch, and to be in the same team as him was great.
Juninho takes some beating just for the innocence in which he played football, his ability, the freedom in which he expressed himself.
I went to every game that season, 96, 97, home and away, and I went there with the knowledge that we've got the best player on the pitch, whether you went to Old Trafford, Liverpool, anywhere.
The best player ever was Juninho, just for his ability and just for the excitement and everything. Just took us to a different level.
His skill and his vision for a pass and his ability to get goals from midfield, second to none.
Started when I would be like 12, 13 years old when he was playing for Boro, and he was one of the best players in the world at the time. So what an incredible player to start watching, and just the best player to ever play at the Riverside, and probably the best player I've ever had.
It's easy that. The best player that I've ever seen was Juninho, but I've had him season ticket since I was at the Riverside, so easily the best player I've ever seen.
He was absolutely fantastic. Some of the things he did, he was an entertainer, and that was so good to watch. So it's got to be Juninho.
He came the first season at the Riverside, and he caught everyone's imagination with his dribbling. And he's just a fantastic player to watch.
I've never seen a player excite a crowd as much as he did, and got bums on seats.
He got the ball. Mainly all of the team couldn't keep up with him because he was that quick with the ball. He just flew off on his own. He's great to watch.